Hi, welcome to SkilledPastor.com. I'm Rob Nieves, and I'm here to give you practical advice for better ministry. Today is video number 5 of Preach Week. So excited for this week, just being able to share, just some insight into ministry and into preaching in particular that I think is helpful. So if you haven't watched the previous videos, go back and watch those. But today we're talking about building a dream team. How do you build a dream team of preachers? If you're a small church pastor like I am, you're probably preaching a whole lot. I mean, I preach 51 weeks out of the year, maybe 50 weeks, but that's still a lot. Every so often, you just need a brain break. And every so often, people just need to hear from somebody else, because after a while, it doesn't matter how great you are, you start sounding the same and you start using your same stories and repeating them. And people love you, but they'd like to hear somebody else. Every so often, it's helpful for your congregation and it's helpful for you. So what do? You build yourself a dream team. How do I build a dream team? I want to give you just some helpful advice on how do you go about building preachers in your church. Now, one of the things you can do is that you can start building them yourself. I mean, frankly, you can go, to a couple of people that have maybe shown that they can preach or have shown an ability or an interest to preach. And you might sit down with them and say, hey, I'm trying to start a preaching team. Would you like to join the team? And they may say, yeah, let's try it out. And you could, start teaching them what you know, and that's definitely one path to taking. Or you can use resources. So you have resources like these videos, right? Where you can just say, hey, I found this guy on YouTube and he seems pretty neat, and check out these videos. This might be something to get you started. So think about that. Maybe just using some of the resources that you have right now that you're even using right now for your own self. One of the things that we've done in our church, we use something called the Preaching Rocket. I'm going to leave the link below for you to check them out. It's really helpful. It's a 12-module course. And what you can do is you can share these videos with your team. What we've done in our church is that we share those videos with our team. They watch the videos, and then every month I give them 10 minutes to just give us a quick 10-minute sermon at the end of every month. And we sit there and then we do peer evaluations. I evaluate them, they self-evaluate, and we take a time to talk. Let's see about how you can improve. And by God's grace, this is our first round now. We've developed 7 new preachers into our church. So I'm a small church pastor just like you, and maybe your church is bigger, but I can tell you that we've developed 7 preachers in our church in the past 6 months. That's a huge blessing, and we're starting to slowly introduce them into the life of the church so that they can start preaching in the church. And that does a few things. Number one, it provides other preachers in the church. So now if there were ever a pastoral vacancy, not that we're thinking about that anytime soon, but if there were that, hey, we have a season where we have some preachers right here, some lay preachers in our church that can start taking over. It also does something for you as the pastor. It makes you a better preacher, believe it or not, because as you're preaching them and as you're evaluating them, now you're thinking, okay, now how do I preach? And maybe I can apply some of these principles in the way that I preach. So the Preaching Rocket has been really helpful for us. We've been coming back and just giving them 10 minutes to preach. It's awesome. It's also really good for yourself, I think, mentally. I think, when you start building other people, you stop focusing on yourself and you stop focusing on you and your ministry. And, this is all about me and my greatness and my kingdom and my church and blah, 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 all this stuff. I think it's really good when you start investing into others. After all, that's what we're called to do. We're called to prepare people for ministry. So I want to encourage you, develop a preaching team in your church. Develop some other people. I think there's yet something else that happens. These people really start looking up to you, and these people really start becoming loyal to you because they know how much you've invested in them. So pastors, preachers, you want to develop yourself as a preacher, but you also want to be developing others. And if we did that, what an impact it would make for the gospel of Jesus Christ. So beyond that, you also have the added benefit that they are just they're soaking in scripture. They're having to study scripture, and they're starting to grow. And now they're starting to appreciate you, and they're saying, man, he does this every week. This is tough. There's so many good advantages to developing people. So I want to encourage you, develop yourself a preaching team. Start giving that back to your church. If there's anything that you can give your church, to say, look, by the time that God is done with us in this location, I want to make sure that we have prepared and equipped people so that you can keep going on your own. And some of you might say, yeah, but then doesn't that mean they don't need me anymore? It could mean that. It could mean that. But I'll bet you they'll still want to have you because they see what value you brought to that church. So you want to make sure you're building people, you're building a dream team. And if you want some more tips and advice, go ahead and comment and ask us some questions. I'd be happy to share more insight on how we did it exactly and what our process is. So thank you so much for watching these videos. I hope that they're helpful and I hope that they're blessing you. And look, this ends Preach Week, but go back and watch the other videos and go back and watch all the videos that we've got. I think they are all really helpful for ministry and for preaching and so many good things. Now I want to tell you, I also have a free sermon preparation guide that we have on our website, skilledpastor.com. I want to give that to you absolutely for free. So go ahead, go to our website and get your free download there. Also, I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe below. Subscribe to this channel because that way you get all the latest content, and we're putting out content every single week. This is the only week where we did it every single day, and boy, that's a lot for me, but definitely we're going to be putting out new content every single week, and we want you to be a part of it. So continue watching here, stay connected to skilledpastor.com. We love you and we're praying for you, and we'll see you on the next video.